But do not expose a 19-year-old supermodel's chest because skinny medics told you to. Circulation. Is their heart beating? This is really easy to find out, okay? Put your hand on their wrist or on the side of their neck. If you feel bump, 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 their heart's beating, okay? It might not be beating very well, but it's beating. That's important to find out. If it's not beating, stay for my next lecture. We're going to talk about doing CPR. So we'll fix that. If your patient has a radial pulse, who cares about the blood pressure? Okay, we always worry about our blood pressure, and Grady wants to know how high our blood pressure is. Well, in trauma situations, we want to know how low the blood pressure is. So if you have a radial pulse, we're good. You're fine. If you do not, you have a carotid pulse, it means your blood pressure is really low. Which means that blood went somewhere. Whether it's externally or internally, we need to figure it out. Now, internal bleeding, I can't help you with that. You need an OR, you need a physician. External bleeding, we can fix that. Is there serious bleeding? When I say serious bleeding, I'm talking about blood squirting and hitting the front row right here. Okay? That's arterial bleeding. That's high pressure. Okay? You can bleed out within several minutes of someone who's squirting blood across the room. Okay? Now, I have a nice little cut on my finger. I'm not flicking you off, but this is not serious bleeding. Okay? A bandage and took care of it. Good to go. A minor laceration, I'm talking very minor, that's just oozing blood, is not a serious bleeding. Okay? It may look bad. If you get a little minor cut to your face, it bleeds a lot. But that's vascular, okay, guys? That's not serious bleeding. You will not bleed to death. You may get infection. You may die from that. It's really horrible death. But you're not going to bleed for that. I'm talking about serious blood squirting across the room. And if they don't have a pulse, we're going to start CPR. I had the opportunity. I was trying to do something medical. I was like, man, what do I do? What do I talk about? I had a chance. If I can teach 300 people here how to do CPR, we're going to do it. So I'm very excited about that. So stay for my next lecture. Don't go away. Don't go to sleep. So what if we do have this serious bleeding? And I'm talking about bright red blood squirting across the room, and you will see it, okay? It's just obvious. Direct pressure, guys. Just put your hand on there, okay? Control the bleeding. If you have no open wounds on your hand, I mean no cuts, no arms like that, the chances of you getting hepatitis B or AIDS or anything like that from your patient is slim to none, honestly. Your skin does a very, very good job of being that barrier. So, I'm not saying go grab anybody's arm that's bleeding and grab a hold of it. But, if you can save a life, the chances of you catching something are very, very slim to none. Now, we're talking about family and friends, stuff like that. That's a whole other ballgame. But, really you can't. Tourniquet. For those military guys, thank you very much for this. The ones that are serving in Iraq, they are really coming along for this. And that's how it comes to our medical stuff, is what they're doing over there. When I first started EMS 8 years ago, they were like, do not tie tourniquets. The arm will rot and fall off. Do not do it. Now, they're actually saying, what the heck, let's tie these tourniquets. Because over in Iraq right now, they're using what's called the CAT tourniquet. And someone had one back there on the display table when we were talking about it. I thought somebody said. He's got one. That thing is awesome. I used it on a 12-gauge shotgun to the leg. The guy would have bled out, and I put the CAT tourniquet on and saved his life. He walked out of the ER. So I keep one in my hunting bag, just in case. You never know what happens. But I keep one. You can order one, Google it. They're great to have. It ties the tourniquet. It will control or stop the bleeding. You can put it on a leg, arm, just don't put it around the neck. It's usually bad. But any kind of extremity, it will control the bleeding. Okay, you rotate it, tighten it up, it's going to stop. Take it to the hospital, the OR will release it and everything's good to go. They've been using tourniquets in the OR for years. We were just pre-hospital, we were scared about them, and they're like a big no-no. But now, they're trying. You can use cravats, you can use any kind of, as long as the webbing, you want it about 2 or 3 inches wide, you can just keep rotating it until the bleeding stops. Once they do that, they'll take it to the OR when they get to the hospital, and they will fix them. The arm will not rot and fall off. Okay, it's just they're showing now. All bleeding stops eventually. Okay, so like I said, if you get a femoral artery cut here across your leg, it takes you about 3 minutes to completely bleed out every ounce of blood in your body. So I can't make it out to my truck in 3 minutes. So having that, the SWAT teams now are using them a lot. The CAT tourniquet is very cool. They're reasonably priced, and they're small package for us backpacking, hunting, stuff like that. We have them there. You cannot treat what you cannot find. There again, guys, I'm not saying cut the shirt off the 19-year-old female. Please do not do that. But if your buddy looks sick and looks bad, we got to cut him. Okay? Even though you may see blood on his shirt, but I'm not sure where that's coming from, you've got to expose him. You cannot fix it unless you can find it. Remove all the clothing. When I say that, though, we need to cover him back up. Because if your buddy looks sick, he probably is sick. He's probably bleeding, whether it be externally or internally. That's going to lower his blood pressure, and he's going to die on you if you do not fix him. One of the things that can kill your buddy is shock. We need to fix shock by covering him with a blanket. Okay, that keeps the body warm. You can also elevate his feet. Take a backpack, stick it up under his feet, elevate his feet like 6 to 12 inches, and you will keep the blood pressure going from the feet to his pelvis. So shoot, Don's holding another 2 minutes. I'm going. Alright, he lost, yep. If the patient looks, he's sick. Wow, I have a conclusion slide too, that's good. We talked about staying safe, making sure you stay safe. If you get hurt, you're no good to your buddy. Okay? If I get hurt, the paramedic gets hurt or killed, we're all screwed. So do not. ABCs is what's going to help your patient. Okay? That's what's going to stop your patient from dying. And above all else, do not do any further harm to your patient. Okay? Talk about some minor injuries too. Broken extremities, abrasions, minor lacerations like that. They look minor, they look nasty, but you're really not going to die from them immediately. Like I said, this was not just a tell-all about trauma assessment. Please, please, I encourage you to take, even if it's just a basic first aid class. They can do first aid classes like 8 hours, and it teaches you the very basic. So I encourage you to do that. If you want to get your paramedic, it's an associate degree, it's about 2,000 hours. Go ahead. If you have any questions, I'll be around today, and there's my email address. Please feel free to email me with anything, and I will answer your questions. Thank you guys very much.